right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Nick Talks. Like I said, I'm going to be doing these updates, weekly updates, hopefully regularly, coming out every Friday. So just to kind of stay up to date with what I'm thinking about, what my plans are, what any news on the plan, any, like I said, any updates. And it's just kind of going to be loose and loose and juicy. Loosey-goosey, loosey-juicy, right? So, I think that I'm finally kind of finding my form here a little bit. I have identified a release schedule. I don't know if you can see it over here. Rough outline of how I want things to go, because it seems like YouTube was rewarding me way more consistently with views and dispersing my content the more consistent that I was, and then I wasn't posting as consistently for a couple weeks, and immediately things started dropping off, obviously. So now we have a defined release schedule, and I'm going to try and stay on that. Habit-wise, went on the vacation, and right before then, I had just added in a second book and running. And after vacation, both of those fell off, but we've now gotten back to it. So I'm implementing one running day a week, sauna 5 days. So now we're trying to implement back in a second book as well. It's a little bit difficult because I get home so late, and so it's like I don't really want to read a second time during the day. I don't have time during the week most of the time, but that's what I'm going to try and do. Studying also kind of fell off, so we're getting back to that. I've defined a schedule there. It'll be Tuesdays and Sundays for in-depth study, because I try to listen to podcasts in between, and I sit down with a pen and paper, and then I just go over one podcast or one form of education, and I go deep dive in it. Right now, that is the guest series that Andrew Huberman did with Dr. Andy Galpin, because I kind of want to really pinpoint my training. I feel like I'm starting to get to the upper levels of where I'm going. I think there's a lot to be optimized, and that's what the studying is for, studying this anyways. With podcasts, I'm refining my system down a little bit. So, as they say, you are the sum of the 5 friends that you hang out with most, but your boy does not have any friends here. I mean, I have some, but I don't have the time to hang out with them. And anyways, any free time that I'd have, I would rather spend it, doubling down on the things that I believe are going to take me to where I want to go in the future. And so, that being said, how do I incorporate influence and mentorship and positive growth from outside sources without having a social circle? So my thought is, it's not any different communicating or having some sort of non-personal relationship with a podcaster or some sort of internet personality, especially the educational kind. So what I've done is I've broken down the week so that 3 days a week I have designated podcast time, and in those days I can listen to as many or as few podcasts as I'd like, and I have them divvied up into sections of what I want my brain to be continuously paying attention to, because I noticed that when I just go off of what I'm interested in, then I tend to go balls deep into one field of study, let's say ancient human history or archaeology or exercise science and fitness or diet or neurochemistry, any of these things, or finances, wealth management, real estate. And I noticed that I would spend too much time on one topic, and then by the time I migrated to the next topic, I would get so involved there that I would start forgetting the things that I would learn. And I really like having everything at the front of my mind. It helps me a lot in terms of cognitive capacity to have numerous fields of study in various different topics so that I can map the lessons that I learn from each one and cross-reference, and it just makes the connections drive deeper within my brain, I have found. And so what I've done is one day is like entertainment and comedy and creators and things like that, so that way I can take off the stress of constantly trying to move the ball forward, move the needle. Because I noticed that if I only pay attention to science and I only pay attention to wealth success strategy, then I take life extremely seriously and I tend to have less fun, less just release time. And I think that's really necessary to just kind of de-stress and allow the brain to put everything in the right spot. So first day, which I believe is Monday, is going to be entertainment and content creation and comedy and stuff like that. And then the second day, which is Wednesday, is going to be all science-based. So Huberman, Williamson, Ferris, Friedman, any of these kind of guys that are really pushing in the knowledge spaces and interviewing a lot of good guests. And then Friday is going to be personal development, because I feel like I've also been lacking in that category. I haven't been, as much as I've been ironing out the details of making my body exactly what I want it to be and creating an environment so that my mind is as performance oriented as it can be, to at least the extent that I'm able to do right now with the information that I have. I feel like I've been lacking pushing my soul and my spirit and my personality in positive directions. I don't think that they're necessarily lacking, but I feel like there's something missing there that I could be benefiting from. And, you know, I have no shortage of baggage that needs to be attended to. And so learning how to deal with that, I think, would definitely help me attain a higher state of being, a more conscious and a more enlightened state of being, which is, hey, that's what we're fucking all about, right? It's just getting better in every aspect. And so hopefully splitting it up like this over the course of a week, a week is nothing in terms of time scale. So splitting it up like that, 1, 2, 3, hopefully is going to allow my mind to continuously not only be paying attention to numerous things at once, numerous aspects of thought and ideas, but also help me map across them and cross-reference so that I can learn each of those even better. And having a day in between all of them, and in the case from Friday to Monday, 2 days, so that not only can I put all of those learnings in the right places and store it correctly and reflect on what I've learned, but also, I advocate a lot for spending time with the self. If you don't know who you are, then people are going to have to tell you, and that's just not an effective system. And so every day in between there will be no content. And obviously I really want to move away from shorts. That stuff just sucks you right the fuck in. And so only podcasts, only long form. If it's short form, nothing that is sub 5 minutes, hopefully, unless it's like I'm learning something on Photoshop or I'm learning something on any Adobe project. That is what we've been paying attention to recently. That's the new system. I just defined that literally yesterday, so we're going to start doing that, and I'll let you know how it goes in the next update. Other than that, gym goals, this fucking close to 315 on bench. This close. I got it halfway up and then it started coming back down. Not great, but hopefully that's going to be this week. Maybe not Wednesday, but Sunday. We'll see. We'll see how it is. My diet hasn't been perfect the last 2 days. Also, I want to start incorporating fasting a lot more, or at least 1 day a week of a heavy fast, because I noticed that I am very much my body. I'm so in tune with my body, which I perceived as a good thing originally. It seems like it's gone too much, to where like as soon as I haven't met my nutrient goals for the day, even if it's intentionally, my state of being and my mood and my conscious capabilities are much less than they should be. And so therefore, or short version, I am very dependent on my external circumstances to create and to facilitate a positive state of being, and I don't want that. I don't like that. So I want to try and incorporate that, but I just added all this stuff to the system, so I don't know if I want to start doing that right now, but it's definitely at the top of my brain. Branding wise, really starting to lock in. Got that profile picture up. I've been floating off that damn picture for 8 years, pretty much. Not really. Luckily, I look the same as I did when I was 15. So just a little bit thicker here and a little bit bigger up here. Branding has pretty much been locked into where I like it. The header or the banner that I had on YouTube before was cool when I made it, not cool anymore. So I had to update that. That's not really new, but relatively. Got the intro done. The intro motion graphic. starting to really lock into sound design. I want to improve the most on sound design, lighting, and general storytelling, and then motion graphics as well. Because I noticed that my information of my videos I am proud of. I think that it's really good. I think that, I take an appropriate amount of time to think about things. It's something that I would like to hear. And so, if I'm putting out something that I like to hear, then I'm striking off that checkbox. But the packaging is lacking, obviously. As good as the information is, no one's going to watch it. And if my major goal is to change the world and enact the most amount of good and positive change that I can, then eyeballs are what we need to be optimizing for without sacrificing the content itself. Because, like I said, man, I was this fucking close to selling out. You get really caught up in the numbers game and you want to, or at least I do, want to take the cheap route, but that's not the way we roll around here. So really gonna just try and focus on improving the aesthetic of what I'm putting out so that it looks more appealing. Plus, we want to get monetized, right? So in order to do that, there are certain requirements. You can't just hit it off the rip. And we want to grow this as big as we can because it is one of the, it is the core foundation of this massive web that I've created that is going to take a lot of time. And this is the tiny little snowball that is going down the hill. So the bigger we can grow that, the more momentum we can gain. With the improvements in video, I do want to get the camera. It's with the shit out of the car. Getting a new car has moved to the top of the list. Camera was going to be first, but now it has to be car. But I think camera to come after that, as long as it doesn't take too much away from the house. But I'm thinking, one of the, ZV-E10 from Sony. I think that's what I'm going to do. Easy point and shoot. The package that I want to buy is going to come with 2 different lenses. Hopefully that's going to be enough of a starter kit to rock and roll. Plus I want a camera for, my personal life. I want to be taking pictures. I just got access to my mom's Shutterfly, and she has all the way back to the early 2000s in pictures, and it's so cool to just look back through memories, and so valuable in the long run. And it doesn't seem like it in the moment, but every single time that I go looking for memories and can't find them, it's like, man, that kind of sucks. And I'm the kind of guy that moves on really quickly. As soon as something happens, I'm on to the next thing. And eventually, I do not give a fuck. Even if that was the most momentous day of my life, it just kind of fades from memory because it's not relevant to what I'm doing now. But at the same time, I want to look back and cherish those memories at some point, right? So camera's pretty imperative, but it has to wait for the car. Final note on real estate, I think we have possibly located a good area because we want to leave Miami. Miami's cool and it's fun and it's happening, but there's a lot of shit that comes with it. And as much as I like the go and I like the staying on my toes, I'm not sure how conducive it is to a positive state of mind, especially where we currently live, which is in the ghetto. And moving anywhere else in Miami is going to be buku expensive, and we want to try to avoid that. And we found a place on the other side of the state that's not too far away, but it seems like property values are much lower there. Here's a hint: it was hit by a hurricane recently, right? So property values have sort of tanked, very low, and even apartments that were as nice as the one we moved into at first when we got here, brand new, awesome, 2-bed, 2-bath at least. They're going for the same or less than what we're paying now for an arguably interior-wise nice apartment, but exterior very shitty. And so I think that's going to be the move. And even if we cannot get the house, worst case scenario, even if either we don't have the down payment or my credit is not sufficiently where I would like it to be before seeking deals, then we're still going to move over there and then just do the same thing that we've been doing here and just continue to grow that nest egg. That's what we got going on. I'd like to get a mic as well, but far out because how much do I have to optimize within the next 6 to 12 months? I can probably get a lot done in that time without spending too much on infrastructure of content creation. If it has to be, then it will be, but I'm not sure. I want to just take it baby steps because I'd rather not, take out or get a bunch of equipment on money that is going to something greater, right? Because real estate is much more important to me than immediate content gains. Both are important, but I want to stop paying rent now. I'm so tired of just giving my money to somebody and knowing that it's going absolutely nowhere. Whereas with real estate, it's going into a hole that is going to stack up over time. And eventually, I'll own that asset outright, and houses only appreciate. So that's what we're going to do. So other than that, that's where we're at. And I'll keep you updated on the whole process. I'll let you know as soon as I get the car. We'll probably do a little showcase of that. Keep you updated on the whole process. So with that being said, thank you for watching, and Nick out.